We often think of diseases like diabetes, obesity, and cancer as conditions that develop later in life. But what if I told you that their roots could be traced back to our earliest stages of development? Environmental exposures during embryonic development can leave lasting molecular marks on our DNA, changing the way that our genes are expressed and potentially predisposing people to chronic disease later on. These molecular marks are called epigenetics. See, if our DNA was like a book, epigenetics would be like a set of instructions for our body about how to read this book and how to express our genes throughout our lives. Now, one such environmental exposure comes from the chemical called triphenylphosphate, or TPP, a flame retardant, a plasticizer, and an environmental pollutant. TPP is everywhere. It's added to furniture, electronics, and even been found to pollute remote Arctic regions. Yet in Canada, there are minimal regulations regarding TPP because risk assessments have found it to be not overtly toxic or cancer-causing. However, there is a growing body of evidence that suggests TPP can alter our hormones and our metabolism. Changes that are subtle yet significant. The kinds of changes that might not kill you immediately, but could result in developing disease later on. My name is Logan Germain, and my research challenges this regulatory decision by investigating how TPP exposure during embryonic development might alter our epigenetics and our genes that are involved with hormones and metabolism. And to do this, I use an embryonic cell model. This allows us to identify early molecular markers of disease risk in response to chemical exposures, but without relying on animal testing. And we have already uncovered some intriguing results so far, which actually do point towards specific kinds of epigenetic marks being involved. And you know what? These epigenetic marks even have the potential to be passed down to future generations. In Canada, chemical risk assessments rely on the existing literature, meaning that if no one has yet asked the right questions, regulators may assume that a chemical is safe. And that's why it's up to researchers like us to ask the right questions, to dig deeper, to uncover the subtle ways in which our environment can influence our health. And through my research, I hope to contribute to this understanding, helping us see not just what causes disease, but how we might actually prevent it before it even begins with the appropriate regulatory actions. Thank you.